This is the GME 1 month overview reading for November 2022. It's currently October 25th, 2022, 11:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The overall theme of behavior for the month is going to be 3 pokes through the same price level, or I should say the same resistance level, followed by a sharp decline off of that third poke. Usually it's a horizontal price level, a horizontal resistance, but it could be like a diagonal slanted one to the downside. And it's crossed with bearish price swings and a sharp dip that'll stand out on a 1 month chart. Behavior around the high, there's bullish price swings around the high, and the day of the high, of the highest high, there'll be a sharp drop from a peak or crest that will stand out. The drop will stand out significantly on a 1-day chart. And then behavior around the lowest low, we have a moment where we'll move higher through a resistance level, stay above it briefly, and then we'll do a full retracement back down through the same price level shortly thereafter. The day with the lowest low, there will be on a 1-day chart for that day, there will be a rally that stands out as a great opportunity to open up a short position in the midst of the rally, and that's on the scale of a 1-day chart. Before we go any further, guys, let's take a look at October thus far. I think this one was a little bit off, but still pretty solid. Right, so we have a high on the 3rd. It looks like it was on the 4th. I may have put another high here on the 7th. Doesn't look like that one was great. I mean, there was another high here on the, you could say, on early on the 7th, right? And then we fall pretty hard, trough on the 7th. High around the 14th. Looks like I was a little bit early on that one too. Matter of fact, no. It was on the 13th instead of the 14th, it looks like. But really what stood out was this peak and this peak with the drop in between. And you can see we have a peak. I think I may be a day early. This is the 18th. I have a peak on the 20th here. And then the other peak here on the 25th. I have it probably for the... Oh, I have it for the 25th. Okay. And then the lows there, I probably have like a most likely month's low somewhere around here as well, like on the 21st. Or the... This is pretty solid, guys. This is pretty solid. I'm off by like a day or so, but I mean, show me an analyst that can predict with that kind of accuracy and even come close. I mean, show me an analyst that can predict with that kind of detail and even come close to the accuracy that we have there. I mean, a day off on a couple of peaks, give me a break. This reading was recorded. The photograph was created on October 11th, 2022. Oh no, that's Bitcoin, excuse me. GME. It was created on September 3rd, 2022, guys. The October reading. So show me an analyst. You can show me an analyst that does that. I'll follow them for sure. Alright, so back to GME November, guys. On the 1st, we have a breakout. It'll stand out on a 1-month chart. There's an opportunity midday, it looks like, to open up a protection. It may be midday or maybe on the 2nd. It looks like late in the day on the 1st, there's a cash out opportunity. And then we have a crest or peak here on the 2nd. You know what? There's a breakout, and then in between the breakout on the 1st and this rally higher to a crest for the month, on the 2nd, there's a sharp drop that'll stand out. There's a correlation to the moon. So maybe overnight or maybe at the end of the day on the 1st, early in the day on the 2nd. But we rally on the 2nd along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting a secondary resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. There's a swing trade opportunity there as well involving a notable decline off of a peak or crest, and this will stand out on a one-day chart for the 2nd. There's just on the 3rd, an important technical price level is highlighted. There's a swing trade opportunity involving that price level and possibly an opportunity to position oneself in both directions utilizing option spreads. On the 4th, we have sideways rotation along a key support level, increasing with bearish sentiment as we move forward into the day. And there's a swing trade opportunity on the 4th as well involving a sharp dip from a crest that'll stand out on a one-day chart. Looks like we have a gap down or a critical price level over the weekend. There's a critical price level highlighted early in the day on the 7th. And we have a notable move to the upside, pushing the upper end of a range higher. A swing trade opportunity again involving a sharp dip off of or sharp drop from a notable peak or crest on a one-day chart. It'll stand out. There's a peak or crest here on the 8th. That may be where the swing trade opportunity is. On the 8th, we have a notable decline from a peak or crest early in the day. It'll be easily missed peak or crest. It looks like probably we push higher into that early in the day. So we push out of a low early in the day on the 7th into a high early in the day on the 8th. That may be the 2nd is most likely a month's high, highest high, but we may also have a prominent high here as well on the 8th because we're pushing the upper end of a range. There's also a correlation there on the 8th to a sharp drop within a period of bearish price swings. On the 9th, we have bearish sideways fluctuations with a bearish trend that precedes a rally. Interesting. Okay, so there's an important price level highlighted here on the 9th where we may poke through it 3 times before dropping. There's a swing trade opportunity involved in that price, or that price level is involved in a swing trade opportunity there on the 9th. Volume or volatility or both will kind of flatten out around that price level. Most likely resistance. Not most likely, it is resistance. On the 10th, we decline from a support level down to and through a second support level, bounce along the next support level, and then we break down through multiple supports. Looks like we have a prominent trough that'll stand out there on the 10th. Swing trade opportunity as well involving a notable decline on a one-day chart that'll stand out from a peak or crest. On the 11th, we have a notable move to the upside at pushing, reaching for a distant resistance level. It looks like that probably brings us back to a similar price level that we see around early on the 10th before we take a drop further. On the 14th, an important leaders highlighted, female water sign most likely. Important leader, maybe an executive or maybe Congress. Matter of fact, I'm getting a male executive now, so there may be more than one executive, something going on there on the 14th. But there's a move higher through a resistance level. We stay above it briefly, break back down with a full retracement. It's a failed attempt to break through key resistance. On the 15th, we have another attempt to break through key resistance, followed by a decline through key support. And technicals will lead us to believe that we're going to break through that key resistance. That's on a 1 month chart scale. There's a swing trade opportunity on the 15th involving a sharp drop off of, on the scale of a 1 day chart off of a peak or crest. And then on the 16th, we have what appears to be a prominent crest or peak here on the 16th, and there's some sideways fluidity along a key support level, equal amounts of bulls and bears inflow and outflow. Key resistance level or key price level is highlighted there. On the 17th, we have a correlation to a month's low here. I think this is probably a prominent low for the month, not necessarily the lowest low, but it'll stand out here on the 17th. And there's a sideways S formation within a channel, so there's a resistance and a support, and we fall from the resistance to support, reverse, do a full retracement back to resistance, reverse, do a full retracement back to support. And on the 18th, we have a period of sideways rotation and a sharp dip that'll stand out on a 1 month chart in that period of sideways rotation. And when we take that dip, we'll revisit a support level that was recently a past opportunity on the scale of a 1 month chart. Recently is usually within like a week's time, usually within 3 days. On the 21st, we have a period of sideways rotation that ends with a fast sudden move higher. There's a swing trade opportunity involved there involving multiple false tops. Advised to be cautious around that swing trade opportunity. Looks like we have a breakout from a trough early in the day on the 21st. And then there's a lower trough there on the 21st, it looks like midday. On the 22nd, we have a crest that we sell from. Down to and through a support level, we do a U-shaped reversal below that support level, come back and reuse it as support, and there's a correlation there to a month's low. So we have another month's low somewhere around the 7th or 8th. This may be the lowest low around the 7th or 8th. And then on the 23rd, we have a notable move higher even in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds. Also, it looks like there's an opportunity, there's a trade opportunity, it looks like, near the high on the 9th. It's either, the high is either early on the 9th or late on the 9th. It's hard to determine that, but if we go higher from early in the 9th, then it's going to be later in the 9th. In any case, there's a cash out opportunity there. We have the unicursal here on the 25th and a half day on the 25th. A notable move higher out of overbought territory, but in the midst of that move higher, I'm advised to open up some protection. There's a correlation there to a 3 pokes through a price level again. That could be 3 pokes on a 1 day chart, or that could be like the second poke on a 1 month chart. Hard to determine that, but we fall pretty hard over the weekend and we come to another month's low here on the 28th. This is either the same low as the previous one that we have here on the I might have said the 7th or the 8th, my god. I meant the 21st or the 22nd. The lowest low, probably the 21st or the 22nd. Disregard the 7th or the 8th as a low, that's probably a crest. So it's either the same low price-wise as the one on the 21st or the 22nd, or it's going to be a lower low. With the 28th, we have a U-shaped dip that forms near the intersection of 2 perpendicular diagonal trend lines, and it looks like the lows early in the day. There's a rally around... It looks like overnight there's a gap up possibly, or a rally end of day on the 28th into early in the day on the 29th. It's hard to say, maybe a gap up there. On the 29th, we bump along resistance. The majority of the time we may break through and bump along another one, break through, bump along another one, but the overall behavior will be bumping along resistance in a bullish sense. And then on the 30th, another correlation to 3 pokes through the same price level followed by a sharp drop, so it may happen on a 1 day chart, or it may be the 3rd poke on a 1 month chart or both. There's a sharp decline there on the 30th that'll stand out on a 1 month chart. And it offers an opportunity to open up a long position in the midst of that decline. There's 2 swing trade opportunities there. I might have left out a swing trade opportunity on the 25th as well, involved in a critical resistance level. But on the 30th, the 2 swing trade opportunities, one involves a critical resistance level where we volume or volatility are both kind of flatten out, and the other one involves a sharp drop on a 1-day chart that would stand out from a peak or crest. And again, I want on a 1 month kind of swing trade type of deal, I want to position myself long on the 30th because the sneak preview card for December is a rally that offers opportunity to open up a short position. It's the opposite of the 30th card, so a good opportunity, and they're most likely to sell that long position. If I was to open it on the 30th, to sell it somewhere in November. That's GME, guys. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Most importantly, make sure you're following that roll of karma, guys. The channel really needs your help. I'm no longer trading. It's just too much, guys. It's too much to do all of these readings and try and stay on top of my trades. I started losing money even while I was right. So, I'm just going to stop. But in order to do that, guys, I really do need your support. I don't have another job. This is full-time. It takes all the time in the world and a team that needs to be paid. So, with that said, follow the roll of karma. Pay a little bit forward, a little bit backwards, and make sure you spend that all out of love. The universe is going to send it back to you tenfold in all directions, my friends. I'll see you on the next one.